Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another time here. Welcome to another time in our book club. Thanks for coming. Thanks for making it. Oh, I'm starting 6 after the hour, top of the hour. Uh, Quite slight technical issue. But thank God we're here. We're ready to get going with it. So this is a book we're reading. It's Bethenny Frankel's book, Business is Personal. That's what we're on to. We're going to close out chapter 8 today. There are 13 chapters, 5 more chapters after today to go. And we already decided on our next book after this time. So when we're done with this present study, we're gonna go in and read our new book, The Good Life. The Good Life. There's a brand new book that came out last month, February 2023. And that's what we're going to go into after we're done with Bethenny Frankel's book, talking about business. It's a compilation from a study of what it takes to be happy, what it takes to have a happy life. So we're going to be reading about happiness, relationship, and things like that. I look forward to doing it. So yeah, I guess you can see the slide. So that's what we're doing. Business is personal. That's the book again. And all right. So pretty much we did the first part of chapter 8 last week. We're going to the second part, and we said this is talking about relationship. It's talking about keeping your circle, your inner circle tight. Like we made mention last week, there are 3 circles, right? Which is pretty much is analogous to the temple, analogous to our own being also, right? In the temple of Moses, you have the outer court where sinners and everybody can be in, right? Yeah, the inner court that only the priest can go into, right? And you have the Holy of Holies that only the high priest can go into once in a year. Right. So the Holy of Holies is the closest knit, right? So when we're talking about your circle here, we're talking about your Holy of Holies, right? Your tight knit circle, right? There's also other circle outside that tight knit circle, which you have associates and all of that stuff. Then the outer court, you have everybody. So there's everybody. There are associates, people you can reason with, you like, you relate with, then there are those that are close knit, close to your heart, right? Those that you trust and trust you, those you can depend upon. It's not everybody you can depend upon. Not everybody has a good mind for you. Not everybody has your interests at heart. It's good to know those that have the interests at heart, those you can call on for help in the day of trouble, not those that say they're your friends, but wouldn't be there for you in the day of trouble. Not your friends for a reason, or your friends for a season. You want your friends for life, right? So that's part of what we wanted to do. We discussed last week. We're going to close out this week. So I was saying that there's a need to create connectivity with people. When creating connectivity, and when you talk about relationship as a whole, that friendship comes out of connectivity, right? Out of common interests. And we talked about there needs to be an overlap. If you don't have an overlap, you can't relate with people. When you don't have an overlap with people, there is no relationship. The amount of overlap is what will determine whether people are outside the court, inner court, Holy of Holies. It's the connectivity or the relation, the having common interests, common goals, common vision, common belief. The commonality is what determines where people forward in your life. Where people don't have any commonality with you, they are on the outer court. When the red then becomes a bit of commonality, they begin to be people that can be in your inner, in your inner court, right? And depending on the level of commonality and trust, they can then come into your Holy of Holies, your inner circle, right? So you want to know who is in and who is out. because those are the people that you can seemingly let your nerves be naked for. People that you can trust with your nerves, trust with things that can hurt you, things, people you can go all out for and can go all out for you. People your safe net, your safe place. That brings to mind for me when I first joined one of the alumni WhatsApp group that I'm in, it's one for my fellowship back from school, they call it Group C, right? And I joined it, and someone were discussing one time, and I said, oh, this is a safe net for me. I can come in a place of believers, I'm safe, but that was tested. 1 week after that, there was just a sudden uprising against me. I said something which, was harmless, but someone picked it up, in defense of his pastor, and kind of went all out for me, and others were like waiting for that occasion and just jumped in, right? You go back, and later on, after all was settled, I asked the question, what was wrong with what I said? Nobody could answer that, because there was nothing wrong with what I said. It was just a spirit, a wrong spirit that caught hold of the moment, and told me that, wow, I thought it was a safe place, but it's not a safe place, because here you have a multitude of people with different interests, right? Different beliefs, even though we're supposed to be Christians, right? From the same fellowship in school, that I left 33 years ago, right? And you've had different colorations of people, different belief system, different teachings, different levels of maturity, whether spiritually or just psychologically, so not everybody can have the difficult discussions, right? The immaturity comes to surface when you're having difficult discussions, so that's why you need to know your circle. You don't go exposing your nerves in the place that is not your circle. Just because you come from the same fellowship, just because you're Christians, doesn't necessarily mean that is your close-knit circle, right? It might just be one of your circles, right? But not your close-knit circle. So there's only so much you want to expose yourself to there, because you might just hurt yourself doing that. So it's here knowing who are in your circle, who are the people you're going to stand out to. Last year I did my 55th birthday, and the first time in 26 years of working where I work, I celebrated it in an office environment, and with the COVID protocol, and the limitation of a conference room, I could not invite everybody, right? I'm kind of a popular person. I know so many people at work, that I couldn't invite everybody. So I had to pick on the people, in a reduced number, people, and that came to some sifting, right? Probably those were the people, in some sense, I felt, where could be in that circle, like inner circle for me, right? There were probably more people, but by limitation of space, had to rank people, as per falling into that. And I think it was a good ranking, but you need to know you need to know your circle, right? You need to, it's good to make friends, no doubt, but they're friends and they're friends, right? You need to know where each one falls into, right? So you need to focus on the things that are important. If you're going to make connections, obviously, you're going to create connectivity, right? By finding commonalities, not just fun commonalities, find out what the things that are important to them, right? And know whether you want to be like them or you don't want to be like them, right? If you see any attribute in any person that is not what you want to be or who you are, then you need to define that relationship, because if you don't define it, it's going to stay in you, right? I don't spend inordinate time with people that are not like I am, or are not like who I want to be, right? I define my relationship. right? Obviously on WhatsApp, I spend time with everybody, in some sense, joking, playing, when it comes to a face-to-face, you won't find me spending too much time with someone who doesn't have a behavior or personality that is in alignment with who I am or who I want to be, because all communication corrupts, right? So I need to be careful what kind of corruption I am allowing into my life, right? And we all need to, do that for our own life, right? It's the way you defend yourself, because you are either, or you are going to be, right? The personalities you spend your time with, because both of you are corrupting one another, right? Same illustration we always give as to two people going for a work, right? They have different speeds when they walk on their home, but when they work together, they're going to come to a new speed, which is different from the individual speed, but it's a speed that is good enough for them to work together, right? So your every association affects who you are. So you need to be careful, the kind of association you give place to, right? That's important, right? So Bethenny says in her book, says, surround yourself with people of integrity, good intentions, and excellent reputations, right? Surround yourself with people of integrity. You don't want to surround yourself with someone who is neither here nor there, right? Someone you can depend on, someone that is different in this place from that place, or someone that says something you can hold, you can take to the bank, right? Those should not fall within the kind of people you want to associate yourself with, unless you are dubious yourself, right? You want to surround yourself with people that have good intentions. They bring positive energy to you, right? You don't want people with negative energy, right? You have a choice, right? So make that choice for yourself. If you want to have a great life, you want to be successful in life, then you need to keep people that do not have good intentions away, people with bad energy. Keep them away from yourself, right? You want people with excellent reputation, right? People that, have beliefs, have values that you admire, that you either have yourself or you are wanting to have, right? You want people who will inspire you, right? That I wrote 2 times, right? You want people who will inspire you, right? And reflect well on you, right? So when they say that this is your friend, you want people to be able to say, wow, you mean that is your friend? So you don't want people when they say that is your friend, so I need to stay away from him more. You want people with positive energy around you, right? Caroline Manzer is quoted here in Bethenny's book, says, if you hang around with garbage, you start to stink, right? Which is true. If you hang around with people with negative energy, they're going to influence you, they're going to corrupt you, right? There's a choice you have to make, right? As to who you hang around. If you hang around people with positive energy, people with good integrity, with good intentions, it's going to affect you, right? It's going to affect you. Like I gotta give examples every time here, concerning my business, right? I'm getting favors here and there. I'm getting open doors here and there because of the kind of people I get to associate with, right? And that's helpful. That's helpful. You need to keep it real, right? You don't want to live a fake life, right? There will always be a limit to the relationships made in certain circumstances, right? There's a limit, right? I didn't know there was a limit. I thought it was that once you make a friend, it's a friend in all things. That I found out, well, possibly the hard way, that's not true, right? That's not true. I made I'm gonna move this just to make this bed bigger. I'm gonna cut this and see if I bring it here, just to make the view bigger. All right. I'm learning from experience, right? I would think that if I have friends from church, I'll be able to, they'll have to be friends for life, but I'm finding that's not true, some people, friendship changes when either you or they leave that particular circumstance in which or environment with which you came together, almost like a cult, a cult are known by their distancing from their members that draw away, right? But you find that that's true in certain circumstances, whether it's a church, whether it's your office, people seem to degrade their relationship with you just because you have left that circle. That's a rude awakening for me, as I negotiate, and navigate life. I would have expected otherwise, but I'm learning I should be real. I should come down to reality of life. People are friends for a time, friends for a reason, friends for a season, and some are friends for life. Friends for life, obviously, are the ones in your inner circle, but a whole lot of people are friends with you just because of what they can get from you, for a season, for a reason, and it's just a reality of life. It's just how the cookie crumbles. There's no way you're going to change that. You just need to understand that and not have too much expectation of people more than they can give or live up to, so you don't have a rude awakening or shock like I have had to believing true and learning and growing. It's just the reality of life, and you need to know and accept that. Yeah. So you may have good friends at work and they are real. You may have good friends at work and they are real, right? But those friendships can and do fall away once you leave that job, right? That's true. You have some that, well, they're those that are real, but they're those that are not even real. They're just platonic friendship just because of being close together. The reality of the friendship comes when some of them get power, or they have power which this thing they can use against you. Then the reality of who they are come to bear. How about you see that in the workplace, as well? And I kind of say, let everybody be given power, because then you know who they truly are. So don't be taken away by people's niceness. They're probably just nice because they're humbled. Question is, who would they be when they're exalted? Then you truly know whether they're friends or enemy. And some have come to light for me, who were either tall in wolves in sheep clothing. Thank God I had the opportunity to know who they truly are. That's just the reality of life. You need to face it. It is what it is, and know how to play the game of life. That's important, right? At the end of the day, your friends are the ones who take you at face value. The value of good friends can be overstated. Your friends are those that will accept you irrespective of where you find yourself. Whether you're reigning in life is beating you down. They're not looking for what they can get from you. They're looking for how to be a blessing to you. They're looking for you because in your presence, they get feel, right? Not because of what you give, but because both of you connect and you have a commonality. Connect and have a commonality. Connect and have a commonality, right? It's not about what they want to get from you, but what they can give, because they feel a sense of feeling when they're in your presence, right? The best relationships enable both parties to do great things, right? Because not a parasitic relationship. That's important, right? So develop your filters and become an expert at identifying who has your back and who doesn't. Again, that goes back to Sun Tzu's quote, right? When you know someone, then you're able to relate all right. You know yourself, you know the person, you can relate all right. If you only know the person, you don't know yourself, then you're not on top of that relationship. If you know yourself, you don't know the person, you're not on top of that relationship. For you to be on top of your relationship, you need to know yourself and know the person you're trying to relate with. Then you know the do's, the don'ts, where to go, where not to go, right? So no, you don't have to spill the beans in when you're talking with people, especially when they're not in your inner circle. You have to be careful how you spill the beans, right? Don't help them connect dots, that lead to secret information concerning your life. Be careful the amount of beans you spill, outside of your tight circle. So that's why you need to know your circle, right? Because if you spill the beans outside of the circle, it can be used against you, right? So that's important, So with your close friends, you can, but with people outside your circle, there's a need to be prudent as to what you say, and what you don't say, So that's why you need to know your circle so you can, as it were, carry yourself aright in that wise. That's all we have really to share in the last part of the book. Just to reemphasize Bethenny's quote, says, surround yourself with people of integrity, good intentions, and excellent reputation who will inspire you and reflect on you, right? And also Caroline Manso, if you hang around with garbage, you will start to stink, right? So be mindful who you hang around with, because it will reflect on you, to have an aura on you. Question is, what kind of aura do you want in your life? Then that determines who you want to spend time with, and who you do choose to spend time with. All right. Thank you. God bless you. I hope this helps you one way or the other. But that is the end of chapter 8 of Business is Personal by Bethenny Frankel. So we'll go on to chapter 9 next week, God helping us. God bless you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.